Welcome, everyone, to a new edition of Metalheads Unite.
It is Friday. It is the day after the Detroit Lions decided they wanted to win a football game, which was nice.
Yeah, right. 0-15 this year, baby.
Undefeated. Hell
uh,
yeah.
yeah, beat the Chiefs on top of that. So that's
Yeah.
always good. So,
At
yeah,
Arrowhead.
I get tired of seeing the same teams in there. I think that's kind of what makes it not that fun anymore.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I kind of like Kansas City. I think I really like Mahomes, but last night was an exception.
Yeah,
Evening, Dana. Dana
what's up,
Horn
Dana?
from Metal and Tats. Everybody.
Yep. And man, this show's gonna be. I will be surprised if we get done in 2 hours. Honestly.
Oh, I don't. No. I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Just to give you guys a heads up, I don't foresee us being done in 2 hours,
Mm,
especially with the content we have and some of the videos I have pulled up to show and all that good stuff. So
yeah. So I definitely don't see it. So we probably don't want to fuck around too much, but yeah, this one's not going to be. This one's not.
disclaimer,
Yeah, this
PS.
one's. Yeah, this isn't going to be one of those. Isn't going to be one of those quick shows.
Yeah,
Not that we ever have one of those, but we
exactly.
really don't.
I got an all somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Ain't it? Yeah, I need that for when we talk about some of the people that got stranded yesterday.
Yeah, got all sorts of buttons going on. Ooh.
I thought there was an all button. I guess there's not. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, Super Mario Brothers, nice.
All right, gang. I guess we will deep dive head first into this thing because this is going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one may be so good I may actually post it to Spotify.
Ooh, alrighty.
Oh man, probably not, but because I try to keep that strictly for man. So,
Right.
but maybe you look maybe I should look into putting some of our content on. I don't
Hey, hey, Amy.
know. Hey, what's
My
your
aunt,
yeah?
yep, Aunt Amy out in what I'm assuming is sunny Hawaii, checking in on YouTube.
Cool. So how long? How often could you say that? Like 3 times? And
I don't know how many people try it. You'd have to ask her.
anyways, I guess we would kick off our birthday week because it's kind of lengthy too. So a lot of lengthy stuff going on this week.
Mm-hmm. That's what she
Especially
said.
see where our heads are at.
That's right. And my
All right.
family's here too. Damn.
Well, at least they're not renting some movie and finding you in it. So I mean, that's always a good thing, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
Uh, all right. Birthdays this week, September 2nd through the 8th. And I got one. I just don't know for the 6th. I just don't know which band member it was. So,
Yep.
but I'll call it out anyway.
Yep.
I mean, it's like one or the other. So they never did let me
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I was waiting for them to respond. You got a 50-50 shot at this point.
Yeah, right. September 2nd, we had Dino Cazares, a guitarist for Fear Factory, Phil Lipscomb, bassist for Taproot, and Sammy Rivers, bassist for Limp Bizkit, and Jill Janis, vocalist for Huntress. And then, unfortunately, she passed away in 2010. September 3rd, we had Caleb Bradley, guitarist for Dystopian. I think that's right. Dana, if you don't, if that's not correct, then you can correct me. But I thought Caleb was the guitarist, but I could be wrong. Val Farr, vocalist for Winder, and he passed away in 2004. September 4th, Tony Campos, guitarist for Hellfire, which, if you haven't heard any of their stuff, I think Tony Campos, okay, thank you, Dana. Tony Campos is probably one of my favorite guitar. I think he's very underrated as a guitar player. Um,
Well, Hellfire's underrated as a band in its entirety anyway. So yeah.
it is true, but man, Tony is fucking amazing on the guitar. Um, if you haven't had a chance to check out those guys, definitely do. Especially just start with their last album and just let it play because you'll just the first track they'll drag you in, man. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
gee, what a fucking guitar entrance to that. But anyway, also September 4th happens to be the big day. So we have Blackie Lawless, singer guitarist for Wasp, Kim Thale, guitarist for Soundgarden and Probot, Sam Yaffa, bassist for Hanoi Rocks, Greg Fiedelman, guitarist and sound engineer with Rick Rubin Productions, and he was also a record producer for Metallica. Um, Igor Cavalera, drummer for Sepultura, and of course Cavalera Conspiracy, among other bands, I'm sure. So
Right.
Cavalera, everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the Ted, where he's like, "Who's Samuel L. Jackson?" Well, the black guy in the movie. Yeah, he's in all of them.
Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah. Igor Cavalera is the drummer in every band that Mike Portnoy's not in.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a very accurate statement on it. Oh man. Also, September 4th, we had Lacey Sturm, Finger, yeah, singer for Flyleaf,
I
Bob
mean, no.
Bar Jarzenbeck, drummer for Fates Warning and Riot, Danny Warsnop, a vocalist for Asking Alexandria. Sorry, this thing printed out little again on me, and I'm having some issues with the print. So it almost like it kind of cut off the top of one of my for some damn reason.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway. uh, September 5th, we had Soren Bray, bassist for Celestial Wizard, Brad Wilk, drummer for Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine, and then Charles Grey Wolf, guitarist and record producer for Powerful. September 6th, we had Scott Travis, drummer for Judas Priest, and then William Duvall, vocalist and guitarist for Alice in Chains, and then Winston McCall, vocalist for Heartbreak Drive. So this is where it's tricky. I don't know. I don't know if it was Tim or Mike from
Mm-hmm.
Miles, but one of them has had birthdays on the 6th. One of them has one on the 6th. One of them has one on the 11th.
Yep.
They never told me which was which.
Right.
So I'm going to assume the way that he worded the or put it in order on the post that maybe Mike was first because it said Mike and I.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I'm thinking maybe Mike was the cardboard. Mike was the
Flat Mike. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Either way, if it was Tim or Mike, happy birthday to you guys. I know if we get it sorted out and you respond back up, then we'll correct that next week.
You know what? I was actually thinking about that, because we saw the post and you had asked whose birthday, which one was which. I was thinking that we need to tell Tim that he needs to actually get, because if you don't know the whole running joke,
right?
That Eyes of the Living, they were on their way down to Tennessee for the Tennessee Metals Devastation Fest, and there was a picture in the van that they were driving down here of all four of them, and Mike was sitting in the back, and the lighting was so bad that he posed for the picture. He looked like he was a cardboard cutout because the lighting was so bad. So kind of the running joke since then is, his nickname is Flat Mike because he looked like he looked two-dimensional. So I was actually thinking that it'd be funny as hell if the next time they go on tour, or if they ever come back down here for anything, is if they actually get a cardboard cutout of Mike and come out, and their very first song, they have the cutout of Mike standing there in his place, and Mike just plays the first song off stage. It'd be funny as shit. I
take it to the show with me. So.
Yeah. Oh, see, there you go. Yeah, we just like hold it up.
Yeah. You see, looking out, seeing himself. What the?
I think they would think I actually I think they would think that would be funnier is
Oh
if there was a
yeah,
cardboard cutout of Mike in the crowd.
yeah. Or get
I think Tim would lose his shit if he saw that. I think he'd laugh so hard he probably would lose his spot in the song. Cuz he had a field day with that.
yeah, he did. Yeah. Still does. I think
Yeah,
it's
he does still do it.
all right, so September 7th, we had Kyle Stevens, guitarist for Bang Tango from 88 to 93, and then he rejoined the band in 2019 and is currently still with them. Paul McCoy, vocalist for 12 Stones, and Chris Beatty, bassist for Hatebreed. September 8th, we had Wild Mick Brown, drummer for Dokken and Ted Nugent, and Michael Lardy, keyboard player, guitarist, and producer for Greg White. Troy Sanders, vocalist and bass player for Mastodon. So that was what I had this week.
All right, I had a couple that I saw. Couple that I saw. We had Jack Gibson from Exodus and Paul Mazurkowitz from Cannibal Corpse, and we brought this up last week at the very beginning of the segment because we had them on the show. Uh, After Earth singer Marcus Ridstead, his birthday was the second, and even though we mentioned it on last week's show, when we mentioned it, it was the first,
Right.
and by the time we come on the air, Sweden is already in,
Well, that's
the
true.
next day. So we mentioned it last week, but during the show, it wasn't officially next week, if you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to make sure that we brought it up again, just in case anybody missed it at the start of the show. So Marcus Reedstead of After Earth, Paul Mazurkowitz from Cannibal Corpse, and Jack Gibson from Exodus. So those are the ones I had.
I still can't believe I missed the Jack Gibson one. That's crazy. Um, don't know what happened there. Um, there was something I wanted to before we get started into this. Some of this mess. Oh, actually, I did miss one. I missed September 6th. Also, I missed Brian Smith, the drummer for Hemlock.
And Dana, we did see your note about the birthday show in Shelbyville on November 11th. We did see that. So
Oh, okay.
I know you brought it up. I know you've brought it up a couple times, but yeah, I mean, definitely definitely don't let us forget because that is something we would want to come to. So,
Oh, I thought it was, maybe it
oh shit, a Saturday night, get out of here. I'll be there with
was.
bells on.
Well, this came up after the fact. Well, I didn't see it till Saturday, but it was
Hmm.
actually last Thursday. But our good friends over at Hellevate, they have been added to the bill opening for the Thrash of the Titans. It's a tribute to the Big Four of Thrash with Slayer and Megadeth. So
Oh
they're
shit,
actually going to be
nice.
they're actually going to be opening for that on the 30th. At
Wow,
at Vivo Live event. So that's pretty freaking cool, man. Like,
man, congratulations to them for that.
yeah, they said they'll be playing tracks from the German Big Four as well. So Creator, Sodom, Tankard, and
Oh
Distortions. Yeah. So you get the German
wow.
and the American Big Four all on the same show. I mean, it's not fans, but I mean, still,
No, but
just
still, I'd go see that.
to hear all of that excuse me, that music in one spot, it's crazy.
Hmm. I mean, man, you're talking eight of the most influential thrash bands in the world. I mean, good God. I mean, we did that one day, when Jason did his list of the 17 subgenres and everything, and we kind of talked about that then, but I'm talking about just thrash metal. We talked about those eight bands. Of course, then you throw Testament and Exodus in there. I mean, you got a top 10 that not too many people could argue with.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, happy birthday to all those, and if we missed anybody, we apologize. And I know we've had some birthdays in the Metalhead page this week too. So happy birthday to all of those guys. I can't remember exactly who all it was, but I know we had 3 or 4 this week.
Absolutely.
So I
We
don't
will
see how
we'll,
Danny 3.5K of people.
Yeah, we'll start doing a better job of that for you guys because you guys in the Facebook group deserve a shout out too. So that's kind of on us. We're sorry about that.
All right, all right. I guess we will get into this metal news of the week, and I know mine's going to be a little lengthy, so
Yep, yep. Well, I guess on the bright side, none of mine are super duper long, so it'll kind of like balance it out.
oh,
Unfortunately, we do have a passing to bring you, so we'll lead off with that over at metalinjection.com or at metalinjection.net. I'm sorry. Nebula bassist Tom Davies has died after a tragically short battle with leukemia. Davies played for Nebula between 2003 and present day, with Transmission from Mothership Earth, released in 22, being his final recorded output with the band. We wish Davies' friends and family all the best at this time. Quote, if the damn story will stop jumping all over the screen. Quote, today was not an easy day, wrote Nebula in a statement. Tom passed last night peacefully with his family by his side. We are crushed losing our brother, bandmate, and friend, but we are also blessed to have known, created, and been a part of his life that was cut too short. His family wanted us to share these words. Quote, dear friends, we want to let you know that it's with great sadness Tom died peacefully last night, surrounded by his mom, sister, and partner Camille. The past 9 months living with high risk leukemia were the most challenging of his life, and he faced every hurdle with great strength, courage, determination, and of course, humor. We want to thank everyone for their love and support during this time. He felt the love which bolstered him in his darkest moments. Our world will never be the same again, but we feel blessed to have had him in our lives. Love Grethy, Camille, Sarah, and Will. End quote. So definitely our thoughts and condolences go out to the family and friends of Tom Davies. Definitely gone way too soon at 48. And as always, fuck cancer. So
right. So and deep breath in because this is going to be. Oh my god. This one over from Loudwire. I'm gonna read the story first, I think, and then I'm gonna go through and pull some pics up from the site I haven't pulled up to share. So we'll do that as well as there's a video on there as well that a couple of them actually that I might play too. So and just
if
this
this is if this is what I think it is, where you're going, I hope that there are more pictures and more video, and I hope the people who were there and had to experience this shit put this like just spread it all over the place.
well, I'm gonna actually show you a few things that's gonna probably blow your mind. So
Okay.
so, anyway, um, and just kind of a public service announcement. I don't do this because I want anything to fail, but I think this needs to be brought to the attention of all concert goers to be on the lookout for certain things when you're planning trips and festivals and whatnot. Um, so like I said, we'll just go through it and then, like I said, there's going to be a lot of comments and stuff afterwards. So um, if it tells you anything, my three, four,
Mm.
um, four pages long. So if it tells you anything, so, oh man, over from Loudwire. So the first night of this year's Blue Ridge Rock Festival was canceled due to a severe storm that rode through Virginia, which included lightning and hail and hail amid driving rain and winds, and sudden evacuation was called for. Attendees have documented the experience on social media, noting that the myriad of logistic issues ranging from parking and entry, lack of hydration stations, and an inhibited ability to seek shelter as directly due to a shortage of shuttle buses. So this begs the question, well, why was Blue Ridge Rock Festival evacuated? Well, first off, it has been reported that the storm arrived during Coheed and Cambria's set, which was around 6:40 p.m. and ultimately got cut short. An emergency warning was issued by Blue Ridge Rock Festival, which stated severe weather approaching. Please exit immediately and seek shelter in your campsite vehicle or your shuttle bus or our shuttle buses. More information to come. All right, with only two options for shelter for a crowd of 40 to 50,000 people, and one of those shelter options being a necessary means of transporting attendees to their campsites where their vehicles are parked, this reasonably appears to have created a lack of proper shelter opportunities for those on site. Many pursued other alternative means to shelter. Attendees post about trying to evacuate and seek shelter. A sudden mass exodus of people, not completely unlike the exit process after the last band had finished playing, left many waiting hours for a shuttle bus to transport them to campsites while attempting to seek the shelter advised by Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Attendees were stuck standing out in the open while enduring the storm. Not good. So,
Mm-mm.
wait time for shuttle buses is another issue. Fans reported waiting upwards to 5 hours for shuttle buses. One person related their response experiencing great deal on Facebook, taking stock of the shuttle bus shortage of as hundreds stood there waiting. Quote, instead of us staying in the raceway in the storm, we were standing in groups of hundreds of people on a road in the middle of the woods in the storm getting poured on. Plus, there was hail, the post reads, also noting no communication, security allowing groups of people to cut the line, etc. People hadn't eaten or drank anything in hours, and we were all wet, cold, and miserable. Pissed is an understatement. LOL. What the hell is the plan if there's an actual emergency? We'd all be dead right now. End quotes. Below is another one of many common complaints observed on social media, which was a lengthy wait for a shuttle bus, despite the festival's promise to have resolved this same issue. That has been a problem in the previous years, in the plural, because I was at two of those, and that was the issue, even without inclement weather. Really, really good. Day one. This was somebody's post. Day one. Really good ramen. Really hot. Suddenly hurricane. Told to evacuate. Lightning hit a stage and damaged band's equipment. Walked to line in literal hail and downpour. Wait 4 hours while drenched in line for a bus to lot. Almost passed out. So it sounds like a good time. Another attendee wonders why a traditional parking lot is not part of the festival's plans. I just want to know why there isn't just a parking lot for Blue Ridge. Why the shuttles? The chaos of shelling thousands of people out at once in hail and thunderstorms proved how dumb this really is. What on earth? RIP to the blue light folks waiting even longer than the orange, which if you don't know, if you haven't been there, there's two different lights. That's how there's a blue one and an orange one. And they're like two different spots. So in there, 4 or 5 miles away from the actual venues, at least, if not further. So seeking shelter was another issue. They were some of the fans were talking about. Attendees were directed to seek shelter in one of two places: shuttle buses or vehicles at campsites. However, with these options not feasible for everyone, many sought shelter in other places, such as beneath an accessibility platform and even dangerously underneath the main stage. so, um, so this was a quote from a Facebook quote here. Fuck the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. This has been the worst experience. Y'all were not properly prepared for an emergency like the pop up thunderstorm that occurred today. I talked with a poor family that evacuated when y'all instructed them to, and they were stuck without shelter. Another fan took shelter under on an accessibility platform for the storm. After evac, friends and I ran past the shuttle line, ignored police telling us to stop, and walked back to the blue parking lot because we waited for 2 hours in the shuttle line, like a half mile long, didn't move. It's insanity. Which is another thing that's crazy because nothing hardly picks up down there. Cell phones or nothing. Merch tents were also a popular alternative for emergency shelter, despite not being one of the festival's recommended options. Excuse me. Those who made it back to their campsites were at the mercy of the storm, which damaged equipment and upended tents. What logistics issue has Blue Ridge Festival faced in the past? This is not the first time Blue Ridge Festival has had contended with failed logistics. 2021, the festival's inaugural year, attendees bemoaned and the hours long wait on the highway to enter the festival grounds. It was also reported that campsites had insufficient facilities and shuttle buses were not in great enough supply to meet the demand. Which last year I think the showers were a big issue with campers. So um, let's see. Accessibility for those with disabilities who was also said to be an issue last year, which I mentioned that last year when I came back with my report from it. So many of these issues were not resolved in 2022, prompting Blue Ridge to openly disclose their plans to improve upon these unsatisfactory conditions for the 2023 event. In August, the festival released a big statement informing fans about all the steps taken to reflectively to rectify these persistent problems. Addressing the shuttle bus problem from the previous year was the fest wrote in August. There was just one remaining area left publicly resolved, and it was by far the most voted for item of improvement, shuttle busing. Addressing this ultimately cost us more than a headlining artist, but making this move was something we felt was an absolute necessity in order to deliver our dream of the ultimate fan driven rock experience. This solution has been in the works for many months now, and we hope you will be genuinely excited and fired up by the result. The next part of the statement says that the camping capacity has more than doubled, but the shuttle buses will not be as necessary due to directly on site parking. Regarding accessibility, the Fest resolution notes ADA patrons. Please note, we have provided you with on site parking this year directly at the raceway. Attendees post about other issues. As one would expect, the severe storm left campsites in despair, as many attendees now grapple with what to do for the remainder of the weekend. Additionally, before the storm arrived on Thursday, many fans reported the free hydration stations were in short supply, leading a long line and wait times to get water. Traffic jam. Uh, Traffic jams, of course. Blue Ridge's website shows camping check-in was available on Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Thursday, 8 to 8, and Friday, 8 to 8. Uh, a local news report by WDBJ7 indicates that some attendees and locals say they had to sit in traffic for up to 12 hours on Wednesday due to the number of visitors for the festival that sold over 50,000 tickets for that day. It was also reported that staff shortages at Virginia International Speedway, where the festival was held, were a result of some staff members experiencing heat strokes, which contributed to the traffic delays. Kerrigan Smith, COO and president of VIR, tells WBDBJ7 the inspections were taking sometimes 5 minutes to get people out of the car to be able to search the car and look for weapons. Some people lost half of their staff and security. Some groups lost half their staff and security was dropping out. We had to do IV search for the dog. For the dog, we had to do IV for the search dogs. Oh God, they had to IV the dogs. That's crazy. There was a lot to it, but on the bright side to that, we also learned a lot about how we can take care of the workers and prepare ourselves a little bit better for those conditions. Camping and aftermath of the storms, one attendee posted that their struggle to get from the main road into the festival to campgrounds after an alleged 10 hours of waiting. This person was informed there wasn't enough general admission tent camping and was directed to a new area that isn't marked and wasn't made for cars to drive through. This is a discrepancy in the timeline, as the post states that they were able to enter at 5:30 a.m. and later acknowledging that their tent was erected at 4:30 a.m. So, of course, that could be because their time that they were looking at could be in their car. So, if you're in a central standard time car, then you didn't change your time to 5. So, I mean, that would actually make sense.
A
Um,
little bit, yeah.
Some people shared photos of the damage done to the camping equipment, which I will show some of those pictures. Unfortunately, some have been left with no option but to abandon their plans for the weekend and return home. Uh, excuse me. One Facebook post says, got in around noon and went to see Deadland, super solid, caught Stitched Up Heart and Kingdom Collapse, was front row for Edema, all crushed it, took a nap up there in Vince Neil because, wow, he is so dreadful live. Decided to take a cat nap during Highly Suspect and woke up to Coheed and Cambria starting their set, and someone is yelling, it's pouring. Long story short, my entire campsite was destroyed, and I'm in a hotel currently. No vacancy here tomorrow, though, so I will have to check out and don't know where I will be staying. Stay tuned. To recap, yes, we spent 13 hours to get into the campgrounds and never ended up camping. um, not very good. This one over from Facebook as well. Well, that was fun while it lasted. All of our tents got destroyed in the storm. All of our clothes are soaked, and now we are headed home. So much for Blue Ridge Rock Festival. I can't afford to drive back and forth every day. So, um, not sure. That's totally on Blue Ridge that you can't afford to drive back and forth every day from a hotel or something. I don't know. I drove. I think an hour one way from the hotel. Actually stayed in North Carolina and then drove across to Virginia, which is not. It was only an hour, so it wasn't that bad. So, Anyway, water stations. It has been reported in some in attendance that there were a total of 2 free water stations within multiple faucets each. One for the general admission crowd and another for the VIP pass holders. The rest of the weekend for the Blue Ridge Festival, Blue Ridge Rock Festival has not posted about the storm or anything related to the evacuation on Facebook, Instagram, or X, which is for Twitter at the time when the story was published. The festival appears to be moving forward as originally intended, with Slipknot, Shinedown, and serving as the headliners for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, respectively. So that's kind of the story. Now, if I can get some pictures up here, let's see.
This company, they need to. I while you were reading that, I looked up some of the specs on Virginia International Raceway.
Yeah.
The track itself. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that at a racetrack the seats are all over the place because there's straightaways and there's turns, especially at Virginia International Raceway, which is a road course. It's not an oval like a lot of NASCAR tracks. So I know you got to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. The seating capacity at VIR is 45,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 1,300 acre site that the track is on. These people need to get their shit together. Obviously, they need to act like they're planning for Woodstock. They need to have they need to plan for double or triple the people to show up. That's how prepared these people need to be at this point. With everything that they've screwed up, with the amount of problems that they've had, if this festival is going to last another year, 2 years, or whatever, they better really, really, really take a look at what happened. What was this, yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday? They
Just
need
about
to. I mean,
And I will say this, like according to some, and I'll have to show you this in a minute because this will blow your mind. But according to one of these sites that I'm on Facebook, there's a group created, and on that group they were talking about how it was 4 p.m. today, or today, like Friday, 4 p.m. Stopped letting people in because they were expecting more storms. So they just stopped letting people in. Like that's not right, man. Because you already have people in there, and then
yeah,
you're stopping people in. Like they paid their money too. So I mean,
right.
you should let everybody in that paid their money. That honestly, if there was a storm coming, you shouldn't be letting anybody in. You should be telling people to get out. I mean,
Yeah.
so, and that was the thing they were saying, is like nobody was coming out, but they wouldn't let anybody in either. So I'm just like, okay, well that's stupid as fuck. So, at this point, I think, unfortunately, I'd be surprised if they have one this year. I really would be.
See, that's and the unfortunately with an outdoor venue, you can't predict the weather and you can't really account for what happens. But at the same time,
but you need to have a plan in place in case.
exactly, you have to have.
They realized. I realized they obviously didn't have, because
Yeah.
40,000 people scurrying for their damn lives in the middle of somebody said there was golf size hail at one part of the campsite. So
Yeah. And I mean,
depending
you've
on
got you
so,
yeah, and you had people huddled. You had people huddled in the woods around trees.
yeah, that's
I
dangerous as
mean,
hell, man.
yeah, I mean, one of those trees gets struck by lightning and you got 10, 20, 30 people dead.
Yep.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't sit here and say I know what to do, because I don't. But at the same time, I'm also not trying to put this festival on. But
Well, I think they need to stop focusing on so I think the thing is like, oh, if we just throw all these bands together, that's going to attract people in regardless of what the hell has been happened in the past. And then, like, eventually people are going to get sick of that shit. I mean, you have these great lineups with Pantera and all these people headlining, and you put all these other bands reunions together, which is cool. But you don't have you're a first off, you say you're a fan driven rock festival, which evidently you are not, because you're not doing things for the fans. I mean,
no.
you're not giving them a shelter in place. You're not giving ADA the people in ADA. You took out the fucking heel. Thank God. I mean, that was a fucking horrific thing last year. Only for me, that's the only way the damn ADA people could get up and down to the stages. Like, that was stupid. I'm like, is there not a fucking path they can go? Like, what the fuck? Not without going outside the building and going all the way around, which they weren't going to let them do. Because once you leave, you're gone. I mean,
there's just a lot of They're just a
Yeah,
lot of
but I mean, why would you waste 30 minutes to go all the way around? Now the band's done by the time you get over there that way. So
so many, so many, so many logistical failures.
right, and
It's unreal.
like people were bitching, but and somebody had mentioned something about Louder in Life, which I've been to that festival too. And people were bitching and trying to compare it. I'm like, no, there's no comparison, dude, because Louder in Life has parking on site. It's like it's a fairgrounds. You park, you walk in. Like that's it. Unless you don't want to deal with traffic and you park in somebody's lawn out in the main street, which they'll let you do for $20. I mean,
Hmm.
if you want to do that, but I mean, why, whatever. Like, yeah, getting out of there is a little, a little bit of trouble because you got all these people leaving at once, you know, and that's going to be a given. I mean, when
Well,
you're
I
leaving
mean,
and you're watching the headline and band, I mean, it's going to be a given. You're going to deal with some traffic. So, I mean,
yeah, I
but
mean, of
but
course,
but to
you've always got people who want. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying, but to get into Louder in Life, there's not an issue. You park, you walk in. So, I mean,
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. Is I mean, some of those people, like you just talked about, you're never going to please those people. But
oh no,
you have to realize you're going to an event with 40, 50, 60,000 people. I mean, granted, there should be some expectancy of, all right, it's going to take a little bit of time to get in there. It's going to take a little bit, it's probably going to take more time to get out. Cause like you said, at the end of the night, everyone's there watching the headliner, Pantera, Slipknot, whoever. That's when everyone's there. So obviously, everyone is watching the headliner. The concert ends, everyone leaves. It's not like when everybody shows up, some people get there early, some people get there late. So there's a little bit of variance when people show up. But at the same time, you have to expect a little bit of a wait.
yeah,
At merch tents, vending merch tents, at the
you're
at
stuck.
the food
You're
vendors,
stuck.
bathrooms, whatever. You have to expect a little bit of a wait. With that many
You're stuck.
people there, you're not getting in and out of anything just like that. Nothing is going to happen like that. There's no event big enough. There's not enough prep time, and there's not enough prep time to be had where everyone could just like walk in, walk up, walk back, walk out. None of that shit's going to happen. Whether you're at a hockey game, whether you're at a baseball game, football game, at an actual race at a racetrack or a concert at a racetrack, you have an entertainment venue with any substantial amount of people. You're going to be doing some waiting,
Right.
so there does need to be some plan ahead on the people's part, but at the same time, the people have been planning ahead because of the headaches that there have been, and people wait because I mean here locally, we have Bonnaroo every year, right? Bonnaroo is between Nashville and Chattanooga down I-24 in Manchester. And you and I have both seen the aerial shots of I-24. And I mean, traffic is just miles in both directions.
Well, it's
But
because
I
there's only one way in and one way out of that fucking venue. That's the problem.
right. But at the same time, people kind of plan for that. But at the same time, once people get to Bonnaroo, you don't really hear about any problems once people are there.
Yeah.
So
Well, I do.
Bonnaroo's actually got this shit figured out by and large.
So I do know this about Louder Than Life. Like when you come in, there are two different, at least two different ways to come in that I know of, depending on where you're parked, where you want to park. So you can come in this side or over here, or you can come in the front entrance to the actual fairgrounds. And there's always security there. So, oh, you want to go park here or park there. So, um, okay, yeah, Dana just posted something here. I'll put it up here. It may not let me since I'm sharing. Oh yeah,
Well, there you go. It's up there.
anyway, it's like you have options again. And I think another thing I like about Ladder in Life is once it's over, they will open up different exits to let you out, so you ain't got to all come out the freaking.
Starwood used to do the same thing.
So I mean that's cool, but I don't think there's another way in and out of that place. I mean they'll open up the field because there's a field there that they have roped off where you can't go by or whatever security there at Blue Ridge. But other than that, I mean it's one way in, one way out as far as I know. So, I mean
That's what
camping may have a different route or something, but
that's just another thing that really annoys me because they have moved to this raceway.
Yeah.
It is like I just said, it's a 1,300-acre property that has uh, a 4,500 spectator capacity for races. Now you're talking road races. You're talking international road races for people who bring cars over and they run on this track. My I'm gonna talk to my brother about it one day and talk to him about what kind of races are held there.
Well, none
But that's
anymore. That's the thing. There's nothing held there anymore. So that's
but
why
see
they're doing
that's
it here. So.
but see that's the thing is I mean the property is still there, the track is still there. 45,000 people for a race, which means that the facility had to account for people for up to 45,000 people to park there to see a race
Per day. So
per day. How the hell how the hell can how the hell can they not accommodate the same amount of people for a festival in the same place that they used to hold races? That blows my mind. You know, they moved from wherever it was the first year you went. I can't remember where it was the first year that you went, but they moved because they
right.
needed to move. So they moved to a raceway. They moved to a racetrack.
It was in Alton, Virginia, the first time I went. So
Yeah. So they moved to a racetrack. They moved to a facility that can handle tens of thousands of people on the property the day of whatever event is being held, and they still can't figure this stuff out. I,
well, I
I
should have known when I went. I should have known it when I went in 2021 and was trying to park. And I tell a security, I say, "Hey, I got this parking pass. Where do I park?" I don't know. The fuck you mean you don't know? like,
that's a
like what?
that's a completely different. I mean, that's a completely different issue. It's still an issue, but that's a completely different issue. I was reading, I don't know where I read it. May have been on Facebook actually, but the one guy who was dealing with somebody who was telling him where to park, and while he was in line, somebody came and took down a sign and told them that they couldn't park there. And then when they finally got parked, they told another person at the parking lot where they ended up about the experience they had with the first guy, and they were like, "That guy doesn't work here. I don't know who the hell that guy is." So apparently, the guy who was coming along taking signs down wasn't even working for anybody who had anything to do with any of the parking. So I don't know what the hell is going on.
Dana says maybe the use of parking isn't in the part of the lease agreement. Well,
Then
I don't see.
that's on the organizers then.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. There's nothing going on there. I mean, unless the parking lot got sold to somebody else, I have no idea why they would do that. But
I have
and
no
hell,
idea, but
the bad thing is Blue Ridge just signed a 3-year deal to use that use that site. So they're going to have to pay for that, regardless if they have a damn festival or not. So because you didn't sign an agreement,
mm-hmm.
and to me, they should have took off this year. They should have took it all off, got their shit together, and then come back next year. Like once you got it all figured out, like you're doing trial and error shit, and you're gonna lose too many fucking people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That you're gonna be lucky to have 10,000 people there at some
Mm-hmm.
point, which is sad because, like I said, I'm not trying to put you know to want them to fail. They're
No,
doing that on their own. So, I mean,
yeah, no, we absolutely we absolutely don't want to see anything like this fail because I mean, there are people that want to see these bands, and if they can get their stuff together and they can get them all in one place, and they man, I wish I could look at they have to have some sort of blueprint or schematic of how they have everything laid out because I mean there needs to be some sort of flow. Everybody comes in, everybody goes out. There's got to be some way to come because I mean hell the racetrack's in a circle. Everyone's going in a fucking circle anyway. So I mean, everyone comes in, everybody watches the show, everybody goes out. And the next day everybody comes back, everybody watches the show, everybody goes out. And the people who paid to camp here are somewhere in the middle and they can walk in this way. All the drivers, they come in, they watch, they go out. There's got to be some way to do this. There's got to be. mean, maybe they should call the people who run whacking. Maybe they should just call them. How do you guys do it?
They could just call, they could call DWP. Actually,
Yeah, they could call them too, but
the funny thing is they tried to sell this to him like years ago, and he wouldn't buy it. he's like, no, I don't want my name. So this tells you something. He said, I don't want my name affiliated with that. So that's how fucked up he knew it was. So I mean, um, here is a schematic.
you know you got some problems if somebody who puts on the biggest heavy metal festivals in the United States doesn't want to have anything to do with you.
Right. Yeah, he said, no, I don't want to buy that. So, I think he doesn't. I think he doesn't have anything there because of the fact that there's nothing there that's doable for what he wants to do. Like everything that I've been to that's DWP, the Sonic Temple's at a soccer field, so there's parking outside. You walk in. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I don't know, like Daytona, the one he has at Daytona may be different because I've never been to Rockville, but you would think it's on the beach, so it may be a little bit handled a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've never been there, so I don't know. But I got the sign where they threw up the severe weather. This is the thing is like people were talking about 5 minutes later they were getting pelted with rain. Why did you wait so long to do this? Like you've
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Somebody's got to somebody. You're. I know it's September, but it's still summer. You have to have somebody. You got to have somebody watching a weather radar.
right.
Which I'll never mind. I'll bring this up in a little while because this isn't heavy metal related, but it's outdoor concert related. So
All
oh
right.
shit, here we go.
There's a map key of what they have there. So not sure if that's big enough to see anything.
Hmm.
I mean, you can see this is an RV campground here. Hookup camping. I'm on the Facebook site. Is my arrow
Yeah,
in the right?
I can see your cursor moving. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure if I can't look at both. Not right now. Eventually when I get my office moved, I actually will be able to do that. So which will
Yeah.
be all. I can see 2 pages at once.
I tell you, I can see right away. I can see right away what they should do next year. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of this property that they aren't using. They need
Oh,
to do. They need to do whatever they need to do to use more, especially this part. Well, I mean, you can't see what I'm pointing at, but especially like you see where it's got the wheelchair thing right here in the middle, that little orange spot right there in the
yeah.
middle. The big ass the spot with the big ass wheels, right,
Here.
that right there. All right, if you, I mean, everything off to the left of that, because you got camping check-in, overflow parking, tent camping. Look at all of this property you're not using.
Yeah.
There's space available. There's space available. Uh, find some way to use it. Find some way
Yeah.
to use it.
It's great.
Even if you're just using it for parking, even if you're just using it for parking, find a way to use it. And then
Right.
because I mean there are even some comments over here to the side. Digging the increase in showers, store locations, and entrances will make it so much easier to get where we need. Of course, it turned out not to be the case, but water station 5,
Oh,
shower
look.
station 10.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I mean, that you know, figure they're gonna have to it, it, they're gonna have to increase the overall infrastructure for the whole festival. They're gonna have to.
Yeah. They're gonna have to restructure it altogether. I mean, and that's what I said. It's like I would be okay with them taking a year off, restructuring, and make sure they have everything to where it needs
Mm-hmm.
to be,
Yeah,
and deal with this shit, man. Not trial and error. And like you done fucked up and signed a 3-year deal, so you're going to have to do something.
yeah,
Uh, whether 10,000 people or 20,000 people or 40,000, whatever, how many people show up, you're just going to have to deal with it because at this point you're losing people left and right. There's people now, like I'll tell you how bad it is in a minute, but um, let me find some other stuff here on loud wire here I wanted to share, and I'm sorry we're taking up so much of the time about this, but I think this is a big deal, man. It really is. It's a huge ordeal to. Here's what I wanted to.
Well, I mean, it's starting to get to the point where it's becoming a spectator safety concern.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it
what it
is.
is. It's you have people who, I mean, there's people who could have died.
Yeah,
There are people that could have easily died in this situation.
yeah. Let me see if I can get this video to play. I may have to do that. Oh,
The history of Pantera in 60 seconds.
uh, no, that's not what I wanted. I was trying to scroll down. I hit a side screen on. Let's trying to see if I could blow this up. I don't know.
Okay, I will say one thing. In this caption right here we're looking at, someone was going into labor. That's stupid going to something like that when you're that far along when you're pregnant.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's
So
dumb. That's fucking stupid. Don't do
They're
that shit.
literally like evacuating everybody out and they want everyone to go seek shelter, but yet they had us all drive here on shuttles. How does that make sense? Now everyone's just standing out in the open, unprotected from anything. How does that make fucking sense? That's what I want to fucking know. Yeah, exactly. It started raining pretty bad, so they ended up evacuating everybody. A lot of people stayed behind in the VIP tents because it had shelter. Some unfortunate people were not able to. They got caught in hail and thunderstorms. There's supposedly 45,000 fucking people, bro. They did not have enough shuttle buses to get everyone out of there safely and quickly. It took hours if people aren't even still there.
I mean, that's it's pretty fucked up.
That's the thing. If you're expecting 50,000, plan for 100.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Plan
mean,
for 100.
you have to be. What's the thing that I do in my job, and they drill this in my job all the time. Be proactive, not reactive. They drill this in our heads at my job. So
Yeah,
if
my
they're
my
just
company my company does the opposite.
well, everybody's not going to be. I mean, we have to be reactive as well. But I'm just saying, if we're more proactive, then we don't have to be as reactive. You know what I mean? Uh, so, I'm trying to oh, here's another one.
I was stranded under the main stage at Blue Ridge Rock Festival during the storm.
There are a lot of people walking around out there.
Look how it's blowing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it should have been evacuated way before it did. Like Cody and Caviar should have never fucking went on. I mean, honestly. Here's another video.
Crazy.
What happens when that tent fucking flies off? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
here's some more.
Just that window so it gets some air.
There went his tent.
Yep.
Oh man. Um, I know we're beating a dead horse. Here's so here's a. I don't know if you can see this. Of course not, because I went to Facebook. But I don't know, can you see that?
I mean, I can see it. I mean, not in great detail or anything. Dana, man, take care, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, he got tired of me bitching. I'm, sure,
Yeah,
I'm sure he's probably working or something. So
probably.
I think that may have been all the videos, but there's one more. that was during the camping. The first night they were still in line for the camping. It was 12 hours later. And
God Almighty.
Everybody.
that's here's a before and after. You see
Oof.
that? Yeah. Then he like crashed into their car and everything. So she got car damage and everything now.
Yeah.
Another one that got wiped out. So
Yeah, man, that sucks. They got to get this figured out.
let me see what this was. This was waiting in line for the Blue Ridge Festival. Hey, look at all that trash, man. Oh my God. Guess where that did not happen at? Ooh, metal devastation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody's bitching about, but it's the cleanest fucking one I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was all of the story.
That's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
And that's there was one thing in that last that last set of photos you showed. One bottle of water is $4. That shit should
Yeah,
that shit should be illegal.
yeah.
I can go to Sam's Club. I can go to Sam's Club tomorrow. I can buy a 45 pack. I can buy a 45 pack of water bottles for $4.50 at Sam's Club. You're charging $4 for one. That shit should be illegal. That's price gouging.
So now I want to share something with you that you might find hilarious.
Hilarious. I'm in.
Yeah, so this is a group on Facebook right now.
Screwed by Blue Ridge Rock Festival.
And let me tell you, that thing has been blowing up. It's freaking hilarious reading the comments on there, but yeah. It's great.
Nice.
I try to get in there because there's actually some kind of updated stuff in there that I can kind of talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
like I said, it's definitely been a shit show for the past 2 years that I went. Anyway,
And then
as
this
far as
year, so 3 years, the 3 years at least.
I know of, there's people that's on that page talking about it. It's been like that for 5 and 6 years. So
It's not good. It's not
no,
good. Yeah, they need to get out in front of that shit. So
well, I mean, if they haven't by now,
yeah,
I'm not sure I'm not sure they know how. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure how they let them put it on without having an evacuation plan in place anyway. Like
Yeah,
they should,
I don't know.
like they should be there asking us, hey, what's your plan if this happens?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan?
Yeah,
Some safety or fire people should be out there asking them this shit. But
yeah, fire marshal and stuff like that. Yeah,
I guess it's crazy to be, yeah, you're not locked in anywhere. I mean, if you had to climb a damn fence or something, you probably. But it's still, that's not the point. You shouldn't have to do that.
no, it shouldn't be like that.
Should be an organized plan in place. Like when you do things at any place you work or any event you go to, hey, when you go to the movies, they say, hey, make sure you know where your exits
Right.
are. I mean,
Yeah,
hell,
yeah, we have escape route,
Yeah,
maps all over where I work.
we do. I work for Amazon. If people don't know that, we do drills like we do shooter on site drills. We do evacuation drills. We do fire drills. We do tornado drills. We do all those drills on a pretty much a monthly basis. We do one every month. We pretty much have to because that's part of our safety guidelines. So,
Right.
but yeah, so I mean, it's something that everybody should have in place. You should have an escape plan in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they absolutely.
I got one for when the FBI pulls up to try to take my gun. So. Like fuck you. But anyway, so we'll quit beating up on Blue Ridge. They're doing enough of damage to themselves. So.
Yeah, they have really.
But I did really want to put that out there so if anybody's thinking about it in the future to see a lot. Oh, it's so cool. No, this is the first year this shit happened. For multiple years now, unfortunately. Hopefully, Sepsis. Me and Sepsis were talking today about that stuff, and Sepsis had a comment. So I wonder if they're still going to charge people $75 to play there.
Woof.
I said, no, it's going to be $175 now because they're going to lose a lot of campers. People ain't going to camp there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to jump back on this train here.
Back on the rails.
Yeah, back on the rails. Well, we didn't even get off the rails really. It was still
still based on the story.
Yeah, still metal centric, so it's fine. All right, moving over to Blabbermouth for our next one. During an appearance on the Classic Rock podcast with host Tim Capel, founding Saxon guitarist Graham Oliver revealed that he has just been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Quote, I was shocked at first, he stated about his diagnosis. I mean, in 76, I cut my finger off and thought I'd never play guitar again. When I was 59, I had a mini stroke that paralyzed my left side and I thought I'd never play again. So I've overcome them, so I've got another battle on my hands. So I've done it 3 times, so it'll be third time lucky. It's not going to beat me as yet, so I'm just going to keep going till I can't, end quote. Regarding how his condition has affected his playing so far, the 71-year-old Graham said, quote, well, I'm on medication. I went to Jam Night last week. I did a gig in Lancaster with Oliver's Army, which is the band that we're using now. And I did really well because before I had to concentrate on my left hand to make it work properly, whereas it was a lot like I was playing things that I hadn't played for a couple years because I've had these complaints since lockdown and I thought it was just a trapped nerve. I didn't know what to put it down to. I just put it down to inactivity, bitter old age, and arthritis or a trapped nerve. So it's been slow. Hopefully medication is going to keep it under control. End quote. Parkinson's disease is a degenerative disorder of the central nervous system. So good luck to Graham moving forward with that.
Just trying to close out some windows so I don't have anything blocking me.
Right.
Carrying on. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna slide over to Metal Hammer for a minute. Iron Maiden have joined forces with biking brand Melon Optics to launch an exclusive range of mountain trail bike sunglasses, bike goggles, and t-shirt and gloves. 3 pairs of sunglasses have been revealed: the Layback, Kingpin, and Arcade, the latter of which features the Iron Maiden logo on the outer leg and Eddie in some of its most famous cover shots on the inside legs. The mountain bike goggles come in 4 designs: Parker Eddie, Parker NOT, and Diablo NOTV. Every model comes in a range of color options featuring the band's logo alongside with assorted artwork on the head strap. There's also a short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirt with a Run to the Hills back print along with Run to the Hills gloves and a pair of Eddie and the Killer's guys. Melon Optics say, quote, raised from the fiery trails of hell, the limited edition Melon Optics and Iron Maiden collection has risen to awaken your inner metalhead trail thrasher. Carved with some power slave precision as a mind-melting Iron Maiden guitar solo, these goods have arrived with fire and force so you can ride free and rock out in style. Quote, all items with the exception of the Kingpin sunglasses are available to buy now from the official Melon Optics website. Iron Maiden will be back out on the road on the latest leg of the Future Past tour on September 28th with a show at Calgary's Scotia Bank Saddle Dome. So, still touring on that album. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready to put out another one, I think. So it's kind of.
I think they might be.
Yeah, I think they're working on stuff.
I think they might be.
I don't. Well, from what I was told from the album, the last album, Senjutsu, was that they had other tracks that didn't make it. So, like, I don't know, like a lot of tracks. So I'm almost wondering if they're just going to include some of those onto a new album, or if they actually written some new stuff. Which musicians are always writing even on the road,
Mm-hmm.
so it wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. But we look forward to it if they do put out some new music.
Yeah, especially if it comes out and Judas Priest comes out,
Oh God, yeah.
we can get that tour going.
Hell yes. All right, moving over to the PRP now. Travis Neal from Fractures and Divine Heresy, etc., has launched a GoFundMe campaign to assist with the medical and personal expenses incurred by his son Damien. According to Neal, Damien was involved in a road rage incident this past Saturday, September 3rd, which saw him stabbed 3 times. Neal commented of the incident and the campaign, quote, "Not many know, but on 9/3/2023, my son Damien was involved in a road rage incident in which he was stabbed 3 times by the other party. One superficial, one puncturing his liver, and the other just missing his stomach but damaging a lot of muscle tissue. He was rushed to Scripps La Jolla and put in immediate surgery. He is starting to heal up and will be hospitalized for a little while. I'm asking for any kind of help to cover the personal expenses that will be incurred due to his hospitalization and recovery after. Unfortunately, he will not be able to work or do much outside of healing his body. Anything will help, and our family is beyond grateful for your donations. Thank you so very much," end quote. So if you guys can help out Travis and Damien Neal, go over to GoFundMe and kind of search for, I don't know exactly, probably Travis Neal or Damien Neal. But if you go over and search for the story on the PRP.com, there is actually a GoFundMe hyperlink in the story, which I'll go there now. There's 4,000 raised of a 3,000 goal, so I mean it's already surpassed the goal that they're looking for. But I'm sure with medical expenses and everything being the way they are, I'm sure they plan for 3,000. They'll probably need 10. So,
Yeah. Well,
so yeah,
you have to be kind of conservative with that kind of stuff because you don't want to. You ask them for 10,000, and people kind of like, why you need 10,000?
right.
Start questioning, which I don't know why. It's because you're not paying the bill, so how do you know what it costs?
Right. Yeah. So that I guess on one hand, the GoFundMe is not even a week old yet, and it's already surpassed the goal by $1,000. But so
That's good.
that's a good thing. But like I say, you never know exactly what medical expenses are going to end up being. So if you guys can go over and help out, feel free to do so. $10-$20 at a time adds up, especially if multiple people do it. So every little bit helps, as they say.
All right. I'm going to stay with Metal Hammer here for a minute. Biohazard vocalist and guitarist Billy Graz. I don't know how to spell his last name. Is it
I always pronounce it Grazia.
Grazia Day?
That's the way I always pronounce it.
Has revealed that he saved a young woman's life in California yesterday. This was Wednesday, I believe. After she got into difficulty while rafting with her boyfriend on the River Kern. The New York-based, California-based hardcore musician shared the story on Facebook. He writes, quote, "A buddy's son looked at me today while swimming across the raging Kern River and said, 'Help.' I drove right in. I dove right in and brought him to shore without a second of hesitation. When I got back to shore, with adrenaline still pumping, a young girl floating in the middle of the river looking at me with eyes locked onto her. My eyes locked onto her as I ran to the water's edge, yelling to her if she was okay. She quickly screamed no. I dove and swam to her as quickly as I could. The last thing I saw before diving in was her head go underwater. Never have I swam that fast before. When I reached her, I had her hold on to my shoulders to rest while I tried to navigate the insane current speeding down the Kern River valley. She said she was dizzy and couldn't swim. I quickly decided not to risk crossing the current again and decided to bring her safely to the other side of the river so she could rest while I evaluated her and see what my next move would be. When he arrived to the other shore, I calmed her down and reassured her that she would be okay. She told me she hit her head while coming down the rapids with her boyfriend, both on the same raft. I asked her where her boyfriend was, and she pointed to a rock ledge above us. I asked him if he was okay, and he calmly replied yes, while not breaking his composure. They oddly The oddly passive dude sat there and let me save his girlfriend's life without lifting a finger or showing any real concern. Maybe he was in shock, but most likely I just thought to myself, he is just from a different generation than I am. I made sure he was okay, sent him across the river in his raft with someone else towing him while I gave attention to his girlfriend. I got her, which that's a rock star move, right? By the way,
Yeah, it is.
put her in the raft and brought her to safety back to the other side of the river, where she was evaluated by a local nurse. I'm thankful to have been there and focused enough to see these two situations unfold before my eyes. End quote. Biohazard fans have praised Grazia Dave for his quick thinking and bravery. One writes, "quote You are always in service, regardless of its soul or physical body, to save, help, support. Huge respect, great role model." So pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
you hear you hear us you hear a lot of stories with metalheads that are real consoling and pretty
Mhm.
cool. The things
Down
they
to
do.
earth,
Yeah, yeah.
genuine people who really, care to help out,
Wait, what? Metalheads are real people?
Nah, they're good people. That's the thing.
Mm.
More often than not, that's for sure.
Not in Jackson, accordingly.
All right, staying over at the PRP. This is a short one. The Acacia Strain have announced Matt Guglielmo of End fame as their new drummer. His addition to the outfit follows Kevin Buteau's departure this past July. Both Guglielmo and the band's vocalist Vincent Bennett recently commented on the lineup change. You can read what they had to say below. Matt Guglielmo on his Instagram said, "I'd like to announce with a very heavy heart that I now sadly play drums for the Acacia Strain." Of course, tongue firmly planted in cheek. And then uh, Vincent Bennett on his Instagram says, "I wrote a really long, nice post re-welcoming Matt into the band and saying a bunch of nice things about him, but I backspaced all over all of it by mistake, so I'll make a caption he will love and understand. Matt good, Matt in band, Matt played drums for us now. Say hi, Matt." So, so I thought that was funny. So both screwing with each other, which I can appreciate. So yeah, Matt Guglielmo is now the official permanent drummer for the Acacia Strain.
All right. Staying with Metal Hammer still. Um, I want to surprise you in a minute, by the way, with one of my what am I trying to say? With one of the sites I got my stuff from.
Okay.
So one of my publications, I guess. Anyway, this one's still over at Metal Hammer, but yeah. So if you know much about Sleep Token, the super viral masked metalers who have exploded into popularity this year, you'll likely know that they prefer to play things a little close to the chest. Led by the mysterious vessel, the collective are yet to reveal their identities, having only ever given a solitary interview so far to Metal Hammer in 2017. Their anonymity is something their fans have fiercely protected, but it's also apparently left them prone to scammers and tricksters who have attempted to take advantage of their loyal followers. In a statement posted to their Instagram stories, Sleep Token have revealed that a number of people have been posing as members of the band and getting in touch with their fan base. Needless to say, Sleep Token aren't very impressed by it. The Instagram post read, quote, "Followers, it has been brought to our attention that a number of unscrupulous individuals have been masquerading as members of the Sleep Token Collective in order to exploit members of our extended community. Let it be known that any unsolicited contact from any person claiming to be a member of the collective should be disregarded and their profile reported to the relevant administration. We thank you for understanding." Quote. So to be absolutely clear, if you receive a message from social media from someone claiming to be a member of Sleep Token, they almost certainly are not in Sleep Token. There you go.
Pretty good odds, yeah.
But I'm in the band.
Right. All right, my last one over at the PRP.com. My last one, just period. Thrash metal vets Megadeth will be embarking on their next leg of dates without guitarist Kiko Loureiro. In his place will be Timo Mantasari of Wintersun and Imperinon fame. Kiko will be taking some time off from the band to be around for his children. Both Loureiro and Megadeth vocalist guitarist Dave Mustaine addressed this temporary lineup change in a new statement that can be read below. Droogies, I don't know what the hell that means. Kiko has had something come up in his family life that requires him to miss the next leg of our Crush the World tour. I'll let him explain. Kiko checking in here. Our new record, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead, and our Crush the World tour have been great. The worldwide chart positions have been our best yet. We really want to thank you for that. I have something that is difficult to share, but we always like to keep you informed with the truth. I have to leave the tour for now to be home with my children and to help them face the difficult challenges that arise from us being dads that work away from home. I found a guitarist, Timu Mantasari, to fill in for me during the fall, and I think you'll be very happy. He's an amazing, incredible player. I've shared this with my partner in Shred, Dave Mustaine, and to no surprise, he said, go be there for your family and keep us posted. To my bandmates and all of our fans around the world, see you all very soon back out on the Killing Road. We will not be canceling the tour. We'll introduce you to Timu on September 6th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Revel Arena. We are asking for your support and understanding at this time. Love and bruises, Dave Mustaine. So there you go. Got a little tweak to the lineup there for this leg of the tours.
Isn't Hangar 18 at the end of Killing Road?
Yes.
Well, they can play on words. Why can't I?
Sure. Why the hell not?
And then you said Droogies. You sure it wasn't 2 G's in that?
Nope. Droogies.
I guess it would be Droogies either way if that was OOs. I was thinking maybe those. Anyway, this is my last story, and it's from Blabbermouth, believe it or not.
Oh, shit. All right, well.
I don't think we've used them in a minute. So.
I did have one.
Did you? Yeah,
I had one.
Yeah. I mean, most of these publications have the same stories, so it's hard to. I'll use Metal Hammer a lot because they do have some odd stories that normally the big ones don't. So, but this one over from Blabbermouth. Jawbone Press has set a November 2023 release date for Turn It Up, My Time Making Hit Records in the Glory Days of Rock Music, the new book from legendary rock producer Tom Werman. Growing up in the Boston suburbs, Werman was deeply affected by pop music from a younger age. He long dreamed of a career in music, first as Elvis Presley, then as the next George Harrison, but it almost didn't turn out that way. Dutifully following the path of his parents had laid out for him, he obtained an MBA from an Ivy League university and took a plum job in an industry he came to despise. Then in 1970, a chance letter sent to CBS Records boss Clive Davis led to an opportunity and a place in rock and roll history. As an A&R man at Epic Records, Werman helped to introduce the world to REO Speedwagon, Boston, Ted Nugent, and Cheap Trick. He also discovered Kiss, Rush, and Leonard Skinner, but his record label passed on all of those. Wow. Then, as an independent producer, he oversaw landmark albums by Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, Twisted Sisters, Stay Hungry, and Jeff Beck live with Jamhammer, Poisons, Open Up and Say Ah, and many more. All in all, his record-making resume includes 23 gold or platinum-selling albums and cumulative sales of more than 52 million copies. Jesus.
Not bad at all.
After bearing witness to several sea changes in the music industry, Werman retired from producing in 2001 and reinvented himself as an award-winning innkeeper in the Berkshire Hills of Massachusetts. And, and that might have been that until an overly critical review led to a fortnightly column on a music website, and now this book. An honest and engaging insider account on how some of the best loved albums of the 70s and 80s came to be. A must for anyone interested in the glory days of rock and metal. Turn It Up offers valuable insights into the recording process, the recording studio, the role of the producer, and the production values that are essential to the creation of a hit record. Bun E. Carlos, Cheap Trick, says, as a producer of some of Cheap Trick's biggest albums, including Dream Police and Heaven Night, Tom helped take our songs from black and white to dazzling full color, just as he has with so many other bands over the years. Now he gives us a peek behind the curtain at how some of the greatest albums in rock and metal were made. Ricky Rocket of Poison said in late 87 or early 88, an interviewer asked, who's producing your next album? Our bassist Bobby Dahl answered, we decided to work with Tom, producer. Everyone laughed until we realized that was like calling someone Joe Pro or Captain Obvious. But when you're dealing with Tom Werman, you are dealing with Tom Producer, the quintessential platinum record producer for rock bands. Excuse me. Dot McGee, manager of Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, and Kiss, um, says through all the craziness that came with working with Motley Crue in the 80s, there was one thing I could rely on, and that was for Tom and the band to keep music coming. Tom's memoir takes you on a journey to the heart of the music industry, passion, triumph, and unforgettable melodies. Highly recommended. Tom Watley, former head of A&R at Capitol Records and president of Warner Brothers Records, as someone who worked with Tom during the 70s and 80s, Turn It Up resonates with me, bringing back memories of the highs and lows of the music industry. A must read for anyone inspired by the power and magic of rock and roll music. Back in 2021, Reservoir announced an acquisition of Werman's producer catalog. The deal included 100% of Werman's producer rights for all of his works, including the number one Billboard Hot 100 hit "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" by Poison. In addition to "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," some of Werman's evergreen productions included Poison's "Nothing But a Good Time," Twisted Sisters' "We're Not Gonna Take It," and "I Want to Rock," Motley Crue's "Girls, Girls, Girls," and Cheap Trick's "Surrender," among many others. So that's some pretty big hits from that.
Yeah, he's got quite the resume in his back pocket there.
Pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
you said you were done, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I guess I will go through a few headlines here. Alice Cooper says, I could have retired 30 years ago, but man, this is so much fun. So
there you go.
I mean, as long as you're having fun and love what you do, I mean, why retire?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still making quality music. So I mean,
he is. Still drawing crowds, too.
Yep. I can attest to that because I was in a pretty crowded Ascend amphitheater a couple of years ago with him and Ace Frehley. So
yeah, even if some chicken shit cosmetics company decided to bail on him.
Yeah, like I said, he's not hurting. So.
No, he doesn't give a shit. I guarantee
they'll
you.
hurt a lot worse than he will. Guns N' Roses postponed their St. Louis concert due to an illness. They are going to reschedule that, so they do tell ticket holders to hold on to tickets. They never said who or what the illness was, so I'm not sure what happened. KK Downing denies he was nervous during Judas Priest Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance. He said, I'm a very confident performer. It's crazy the questions they ask these fucking guys. Were you nervous? You've been doing this for 40 years. Were you nervous?
He's probably been doing it longer than 40. That's the messed up thing.
I know what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Christ. That's like telling Ron Jeremy, hey, man, you all right with fucking this chick? I don't know. I haven't done this much. So we don't talk about this band much, but because we don't really care much for them, but it's still beside the fact they're still a big following, and I feel like it should be reported. So Ghost, their Mary on a Cross single was certified platinum in the U.S. So congratulations to those.
Yeah,
guys.
still congratulations to them. Yeah,
that's a big feat. So
it is.
Iron Maiden, Steve Harris on Bruce Dickinson. I think he's singing better than ever, which that's a pretty big compliment.
Yeah.
Fear Factory's Dino Cazares speaks out against venues taking cuts of artists' merchandise sales. You're basically paying to play.
Yep. In a way.
Yeah. Which I bring this up because, I mean, we've talked about this kind of like
way too much, more than we should have had to.
But I think the thing is why I bring it up again was because I think is the more because I did see another story with another band, but I don't know if they were metal or not. It was on Metal Injection, but you know how that goes. But there was another band complaining about it, and I'm just like, this is a thing that's got to happen. All these bands have to get on the same page with this, or it's going to keep happening.
Yes.
As more bands start getting on board with saying you're not going to do this, then the venues don't have any choice but to say, okay, man, we're going to start making some kind of cut somewhere because we're not being able to book anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wind up with karaoke bands in there, and not draw a damn dime. So, and honest to God, they're making more money off of booze than they are the damn merch any damn way. So,
yeah,
which blows my mind they even want any of the merch. Tim Ripper Owens doesn't warm up or cool down his singing voice when performing live. I think I posted that over.
You did, and that boggled my mind when I saw that.
So, He took a page out of Udo Dirkschneider's.
Yeah.
Somebody actually said that on there and said, "Oh, he's a dumbass for not, doing it, warming up and cooling down and blah 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 blah." I'm like, you do realize Udo Dirkschneider's been doing that for 50 fucking years, right? I mean, like it's 1968, I think it was. He's been singing. So,
Well, I mean, you figure Tim's got to have at least a 30-year career at this point.
yeah, at this point, yeah, exactly. So I mean, obviously, it works for some, maybe not for others. I mean,
Right.
whatever works. As long as it works,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's what you gotta do. So. Wolfgang Van Halen has announced his wedding will be held in October. I'm sure we'll get the pictures and everything when that actually goes down. So,
Well, I'm sure.
we'll probably be revisiting that story. POD's new single "Drop" is to feature Lamb of God's Randy Blythe. Their new Veritas album is due out in early 2024. This one kind of may be surprising to you. Venom Inc. recruits former Venom guitarist Mike Hickey for their U.S. tour. I said that's surprising because we all know Venom Inc. is pretty much all former Venom members anyway.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne looks back on the Osbournes TV show and said that it was not scripted at all, which kind of surprising to me if that wasn't scripted. That's crazy how entertaining it was. So.
Well, let me put it. It doesn't really surprise me that much. Do you think Ozzy could have remembered lines in a script?
That's true, but I'm just saying, like maybe some of the, what I'm saying, not really his, but maybe some of the other lines that had his reactions to the lines. You know what I mean? I can see that.
Yeah, that's true.
Ex Five Finger Death Punch guitarist wanted to find mentally stable guys for his new band Flat Black. I don't know if that was a shot or.
It's I would say it's probably definitely a veiled shot.
Yeah. Godsmack's Surly Erna hits an evening with style tour for early hints at an evening style tour with Godsmack style for blah, blah. I'll get this out in a minute. Godsmack Surly Erna hints at an evening with style tour for early 2024. So kind of like what we've been going to with Machine Heads.
I was just about to say it works just fine for Machine Head.
I would be down with listening to Godsmack for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you'd actually probably hear some of the songs you wanted to hear at that point instead of having to go see them,
Right.
somewhere for an hour and 15, an hour and a half somewhere. Phil Ryan explains why he relented on Sacred Right taking part in paid meet and greets. He was really so. I don't know if you read that story. I did, but I didn't want to do the whole story. But he was talking about there are fans and they shouldn't have to pay extra for meeting us. So, I mean, I'm down with that. So
I won't argue with that.
yeah, good on him. All bands should do that. Suicidal Tendencies to open for Metallica at rescheduled second Phoenix concert because it got canceled, of course, because of James getting COVID. And, of course, Iceland will start their own tour coming up, so they won't be able to participate in the opening act of Metallica.
Right.
But it makes sense to have Suicidal Tendencies there since, that is Rob Trujillo's old band. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if is his son still playing in it. I think his son's still playing bass with him, isn't he?
I don't know because he's in his own band Otto right now.
Oh, that's right.
And James's son is in Bastardane.
Right. Till Lindemann drops off for this week's Blue Ridge Rock Festival due to an illness. He may be lucky he did. So.
Mm-hmm.
Probably got canceled anyway. Death Clock has a PSA about taking a shower before coming to their shows. First off, if you got to do a PSA about that, then if somebody has to tell you that, then you have a problem. Sorry.
Did you watch that?
I didn't watch it, no. But
I did. Oh God, it was like just a quick little like Instagram or TikTok clip of somebody at the particular. It was funny as shit. It was like 20 seconds long, but goddamn, it was funny.
All right, Jeff Becerra says Possessed are 100% the first death metal band.
Okay.
I think he may have some arguments there. Because most of us think death is the first death metal band. Dave Mustaine said he's chosen to find the happier things in life than talk about Metallica.
Uh-huh.
This just in, that starts today. Uh, you said you covered that. John 5 and Rob Zombie haven't spoken since John 5 joined Motley Crue, which I find that's crazy.
Yeah. And I hope it's not like some sort of irreparable friendship thing kind of going on. But I hope it's more of like a conflicting schedule kind of thing.
It probably is. I mean, Rob's touring with Alice Cooper right now. So.
Yeah. So I hope it's more that than just like not talking, just not friends anymore. So.
Well, I mean, it's like a lot. They talked about certain like. I was reading something where I was watching the movie Home today with, which is one of the cartoons that my granddaughter likes to watch. There was a thing in there about Jim Parsons and Rihanna had some issues on set, and then they supposedly patched it up by the end of the filming or whatever. But they haven't really talked to each other since. In other words, I mean, one of them's touring and one of them's doing Athens. I mean, it's probably hard to find the time to communicate. I mean, something like just because this is a thing, like just because you're in a band or if you're on a movie set, that doesn't mean that you're friends with everybody on the fucking set. You're there to do this is the way I look at it. When I go to a set, I'm there to do a job. I'm not there to,
make friends for life.
Yeah, I'm not there to make friends for life. We're there to network. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not there to. I'm not there to. I guess that's not my main purpose. My main purpose is to be there for the job. Like, if I get a chance to talk with people in between something, that's fine. But I'm not going to do it while I'm actually performing. That's not very. Not to me. It's not very professional.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
But that's all of the headlines I had. So
all right. I have two things real quick that just caught my eye. Messed up thing is neither of them are like heavy metal, which is crazy. But I saw something where Freddie Mercury's piano from Bohemian Rhapsody sold for $2.2 million at auction, and Nirvana is coming out with I can't remember which album it is because I don't care about Nirvana. Son of a bitch, I can't remember what. Anyway, they're gonna be re-releasing one of their albums like on a 30th anniversary or something, and it's gonna have 53 unreleased tracks on it.
Jesus,
I was like, holy shit! That's what caught my eye. It's like 53 previously unreleased songs. It's like, my God, that's insane. So, I mean, it was just basically those two stories caught my eye just because of the $2.2 million for the piano and then 53 previously unreleased tracks. I mean, that's a lot of music.
Yeah, for Nirvana, right?
Yeah, Nirvana.
I can't believe they had that many unreleased tracks.
Yeah, man, you get that album with that many new songs, it's gonna be like a shotgun blast to the face of new music.
Yeah. I actually wanted to look up that video now since you said that. So I'm just like,
what's that?
The video you were talking about.
Oh, the thing at the Death Clock tour, at the Death Clock concert. Oh yeah, that's funny. Like if you could share it, you should. It's funny. Like I say, it's real quick.
Actually, I got it pulled up. So.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, face bones.
Yeah. Oh.
Concert etiquette with face bones.
I guess I got to go to TikTok. Dang it.
Boo. You can't just press the play button down there in the bottom left? Yeah, you should be able to just get it right from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I would think.
I'm going to reshare it from the TikTok. So give me just.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
Just be easier to do that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, now.
I'd like to take the time to talk about proper concert etiquette. Etiquette? What's that? Well, etiquette is a French word that means how to not act like stupid asshole. So let's get into it. First mean? You know, when you go to a show and you're standing next to a person who smells like BO and old shoes and shit. Oh, you don't know? Then that person might be you. Take a shower at some point in your life and then come to the show.
Concert tips with face bones. Good advice, though. Good advice.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sit next to a stinky asshole.
Yeah, no one wants to smell you. No one wants to smell you.
And God forbid, nobody wants to smell your fucking patchouli or whatever the hell's y'all motherfuckers wearing trying to cover up the stink, because that just makes it worse.
Yeah, kind of does.
So I always said like it almost smells like a dog pissed on a pine tree.
That's pretty close.
I don't say how people like. Maybe different stirs for different folks, I guess.
Oh.
Let's go with the usual soap hygiene. Not have to worry about wearing clothes. I'm always clean. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess we will get into hitting the road. I did not participate in that again this week because I didn't see a lot. So I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. All right, we'll kind of breeze through this real quick then. Hitting the road for the week of September 2nd through September 8th, starting over at prp.com like always. Madball will be going on a quick November UK headlining tour starting November 13th in London, England at the Underworld, finishing November 19th in Brighton, England at the Arch. High on Fire has announced some 25th anniversary shows with Pallbearer, starting October 26th in Dallas, Texas at the Factory, finishing November 4th in Berkeley, California at the UC Theater. Mutoid Man has a quick November East Coast tour starting November 8th in Baltimore, Maryland at Metro Gallery, finishing November 13th in Hamden, Connecticut at the Space Ballroom. Goat Whore, Withered, and Spider are going out, not Spiter with a T, not Spider with a D, are going out this fall, starting November 3rd in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Revolution Music Room, finishing November 26th in Pensacola, Florida at the Handlebar. Chamber and Trach... Yeah, right. 2 T's. Chamber and Tracheotomy have a very, very quick quartet of dates coming up in October. Starting October 12th in Knoxville, Tennessee at Carnes Comm Center, finishing October 16th in Detroit at the Sanctuary. Mudvayne and Cold Chamber are going to Australia in February of 2024. Starting February 14th in Brisbane, Australia at the Fortitude Music Hall. Finishing February 21st in Perth, Australia at Metro City, or as they say in Megamind, Metrocity. If you've never seen that movie, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Cattle Decapitation, Signs of the Swarm, 200 Stab Wounds, and Vomit Forth are going on a European and UK tour in 2024. Starting March 1st, 2024 in Nijmegen, Netherlands at Doornroosje. I don't know. And then finishing March 31st, 2024 in Essen, Germany at Turok. He is Legend and Kane Hill are going on a U.S. tour this fall, starting October 8th in Lubbock, Texas at Jake's Sport Cafe, finishing October 22nd in Tampa, Florida at the Orpheum. Left to Die is going to the West Coast in November, starting November 11th in Las Vegas at the Dive Bar, finishing November 26th in San Diego, California at Brick by Brick. The Convalescence has a headlining fall U.S. tour. The lineups will vary greatly throughout the tour, starting November 1st in Columbus, Ohio at the King of Clubs featuring Carnifex and Signs of the Swarm, finishing November 20th in Detroit at the Sanctuary featuring Signs of the Swarm only. Greg Puciato and Trace Amount are going to the UK and Ireland in 2024, starting March 1st in Bristol, England at Thekla, finishing March 12th, 2024 in Dublin, Ireland at Whelan's. Jesus Peace is going to Europe and to the UK, starting November 29th in Den Bosch, Netherlands at Willem Twee. And that's what it is, Twee, Willem Twee.
Now you said Dublin. Are you from Ireland? Because when I see you, my penis be Dublin.
That's right. Finishing December 14th in London, England at Oslo. Of Mice and Men, Caskets and Defects are going to Europe and to the UK, starting November 20th in Munich, Germany at the Backstage Hall, finishing December 14th in London, England at The Dome. Then a couple announcements over at Blabbermouth. Mr. Big is going on a European farewell tour in 2024, starting March 17th in Cologne, Germany at the Karlswerk Victoria, finishing April 15th in Luxembourg City, Luxembourg at the Rock Hall. Then Pop Evil, Fame of Fire, and I don't know how the hell you pronounce this, Lylvc. I don't know if it's Lilac or whatever, are going on a U.S. tour in the fall, starting October 28th in Fort Smith, Arkansas at Temple Live, finishing November 22nd in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Intersection. They will be in Johnson City, Tennessee at Capone's on November 11th. No Nashville dates at all this week for anything. Crazy. But that's hitting the road for the 2nd through the 8th.
I need to get me a horn.
Meh, meh.
We're hitting the road.
Yeah. I get like a little sound effect downloaded to your soundboard there.
Oh yeah, I wonder if I can do that. Interesting.
I would think so. That'd be cool though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any extra buttons. So.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe you could overwrite something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I still kind of figure it all out first.
Right. That's true.
Posted up right now is the playlist for the week. So all newly released tunes there. So check that out.
There's some good stuff this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's been like last week was a little off. The 2 weeks before that was freaking like you can't. I usually try to stick to 30 because that's usually around 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I usually try to stick it around. I mean, I just don't want to put 6 hours worth of music on here for people to try to listen to. So,
right.
Which not saying they can't, but
right.
2 hours is doable of your week if you're especially if you're commuting. You can check out some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Show some love to some of these new bands. That's what we do. So
that is what we do.
Speaking of that, scene where we have a Facebook like from Hext. So what the fuck?
What the fuck?
We appreciate that.
If you know, you know.
If you don't, then go back and watch the Hext interview on.
That's right.
Here you go. All right. So I guess we will get into our theme of this week. Go ahead and get the theme last week queued up and ready to go. Give this one a little bit for everybody to absorb, I guess.
Right.
Anyway, our theme of the week this week was chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I will kick it off here.
All right.
My first one, I kind of did a duo here. I kind of with band and song. So, and this band's kind of one we talked about. We don't show enough love to. So I was like, we got to show them some love. So, first one is Toxic Holocaust, Chemical Warlords from Primal Future 2019. Then I went with Exodus, Toxic Waltz from Fabulous Disaster 1989. Then I went with Slayer, Chemical Warfare from Haunting the Chapel 1984. Then I went with Avatar's Napalm from the Black Waltz 2012. Then I went with Partway Drive, Like Napalm from Darker Steel 2022. And then it's kind of kept on with Napalm. Here's last one was Sodom, Napalm in the Morning from M16 2001. Then I went with I Prevail, Gasoline from Trauma 2018. Then I went with Savage Existence, a Dumpster Water.
Ew, gross.
It's a good song. That's from their self-titled album that come out earlier this year. And then we'll show another one of our friends from the show some love, Demos' Dawn for Unholy Water from Anthem of the Lost from earlier this year. Then I went with the band name here, Acid Bath, or I guess you could go with the chemicals since the song's Cheap Vodka.
Well, yeah.
That's from the album When the Kite Strings Pop from 1994. Then I went with Slipknot Sulfur from All Hope Is Gone 2008. Then I went with Metallica Cyanide from Death Magnetic 2008. And then last but not least, I went with Fear Factory Oxidizer from Mechanized from 2010.
Yeah. Anyone who's ever worked at like a fast food restaurant, you've been touched by dumpster water at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
You have. Oh, it's so gross. Ew. All right. So we had two over. What do you call them? Doubles, duplicates. Yeah, we had two duplicates this week. Leading off this week, I had Chemical Warfare by Slayer off Haunting the Chapel from 1984, and then one that I'm surprised we didn't both have because I have it and you didn't. Chemical Bath by Eyes of the Living off of their War on Dead, More Dead album from 2019. Chemical Euphoria by Armored Saint, Raising Fear, 1987. Chemical Wedding by Bruce Dickinson, one of his solo albums, The Chemical Wedding from 1998. Then I had Chemical Warlords from Toxic Holocaust off of Primal Future 2019 from 2019. Chemical Noose by Flotsam and Jetsam off of Unnatural Selection from 1999. Chemical Whore by Hypocrisy off of Worship from 2021. Chemical Slave by Vicious Rumors off Concussion Protocol 2016. Chemical Gods by Crowbar off of Zero and Below from 2022. Then I had Poison by Tankard off of Zombie Attack from 1986. Poison by Alice Cooper off of Trash from 1989. And My Acid Words by Nevermore off of This Godless Endeavor from 2005. I wasn't trying to go all chemical. Just kind of how it worked out as I was going down. I was like, well, shit, might as well just go with it. So,
Well, I actually got a different concept this week. I actually looked up chemicals on one of the hazardous waste websites. So,
oh, see, there you go.
It gave me 160 chemicals. So I was like, well, surely I can find 20 songs out of here. So
Nice.
So that's kind of what I did. But then just plugged in those chemicals into Spotify and see what it turned up for me. So,
Yep.
Yes.
So we will. We'll get that compiled and collaborated and sent over to you guys as quickly as we possibly can. And I actually just added Toxicity by System of a Down. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but it just popped into my head.
I actually thought you would have that. That's why I did not put it on there. I was like, he'll probably have that one. So.
Well, I do now, so it'll be on there. So,
but the playlist for last week's Spawn Farm Records is up there now. So if you want to check that one out as well, or you can just go into Spotify and type in Metalheads Unite, and all of the playlists will show up there for you. So.
That's right. There's at this point, I mean, there's literally no shortage of playlists for you guys to listen to now, whether it be our theme of the week, whether it be Jason's weekly playlist. I mean, I've even done a couple of full concert playlists from some shows that we've been to. I went to setlist.fm and I got like the complete. I know that the Chattanooga stop of the Bay Strikes Back tour, I know that complete concert playlist is on there. You know, Death Angel, Exodus, and Testament. I went to setlist.fm and got every single song that was played that night, and that's on a playlist from the start of Death Angel's set to the very, very end of Testament set, you know, in order. So even that playlist is on there. So, I mean, we got playlists galore on Spotify at this point. So between Spotify and the radio station, which is, you know, the it's not a hyperlink, unfortunately. I wish it was, but you know, the URL is down there at the bottom of the screen. So I mean, between the radio station and Spotify, I mean, Metalheads Unite has really got you guys covered.
Yeah.
And like, if it's a song that we don't have, just let us know. We'll make sure we get it.
Of course, I don't know when it'll play on the radio because that's actually on a auto loop. So
it is, but we can get it added into the rotation. So
it's on a random, so it's a random rotation. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we can definitely get it added.
All right. Speaking of tours, this time next week I'll be wearing a Pantera shirt.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Coming up on Tuesday, Pantera. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. I'm happy for you. I really am.
And of course, if you hadn't seen Born of Osiris, I went to that last.
Yep. Tuesday. Tuesday.
Oh, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Huh. Down at Hot Springs, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, that's a pretty cool venue.
I was about to ask you about that.
The only thing I didn't like was the bathrooms are like right next to the stage, so in the bars they're like right up from that, so you really don't have much of a window to try to get over to there, especially if circle pit going on. So you're kind of like, but
Yeah.
yes. And it's not huge. It's not a huge venue, but I mean, it could probably hold a couple, maybe 300-400 people. I don't know, something like
Yeah. Okay.
that. I mean, or it could probably hold more than that because there's outside too. You can sit outside. You won't get to see a lot, but you can sit out there and listen.
That's
For
true.
sure.
That's true.
So yeah, it's got a pretty open field out there. And they actually have frisbee golf on site. Some other things there. They have a food truck there. So,
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
A lot of bands came out. For the drummer for Bone of Osiris was out there for a meet and greet. I didn't really get to get pics or anything because I was just more into the well, we was actually bummed because up on a Burning Body actually had to cancel. They had a trailer issue or something with their bus up in Ohio, so they couldn't make it down to Tennessee. So they were trying to get it fixed before the show after that, which I don't know if they do or not.
Oh, well, that's stinks.
Yeah, because that's mainly what we went to see. But Born of Osiris is pretty good at that concert too. So, Traders actually opened up. They was pretty cool guys. They actually brought the little kid up on stage. It was actually his first show. It was pretty cool. His first metal show, and they brought him up on stage, gave him a drumstick and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool. They actually
Nice.
took care of the little guy, man. First impression for a metal concert. So hopefully that's a future metalhead there. So. Pretty cool. All right, so I guess we will crank into our album reviews. We have plenty of those for you this week, I think. So, I actually got through an album and an EP today, so we'll go over both. So I know you got through a few albums there. So.
Yeah, I did actually.
Chris had the house to himself today, so he was taking advantage.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my first the full album review I did was Art of Shock, Shine Black Light. They are a band out of Los Angeles, California. Not sure when they were formed. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really say when they were formed, so I'm not real sure. But they've been around. So they've had stuff out since 2010. So evidently it was before that. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, that's crazy. It didn't say that. Anyway, so the current members are Bryce Snyder on bass, Adrian Geezer on drums, Nick Bertel on guitars, and Art Geezer on vocals and guitars. So this one was, I guess, like the thing that stuck out to me on this album was more of the drumming. Wait a minute. Let me go back here because I missed the whole damn page. So this is the band's third full-length album. 9 songs, 36 minutes, 31 seconds, so pretty quick listen. The guitars really stuck out a lot throughout this album. And it was really, really good shredding and stuff on this album. So pretty cool. Drumming was also damn good. Vocally was a bit of a mess at a couple of tracks. I'm not sure, like the tone of it kind of like went from here then down to here and back to the middle. It was just kind of all over the place for some reason. I'm not sure if they meant, that because the tone of the song didn't really change as much, but vocally, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But anyway, the tone was just changed when I don't think they really needed to. The surprise of the album, though, was a well done ballad on here called "Drag Me to Hell." It kind of even reminded me a little bit of a Vince Sevenfold ballad. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it was really well done. I was really surprised by how well done it was, especially with his voice because he's got kind of a deeper guttural type voice. So it sounded really good when he kind of let his vocals come out and do the ballad type. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So a lot good cleans too. So. So overall, it wasn't too bad, but I'm going to give this one 3.5 horns.
Nice.
And then I switched over and listened to an EP, Greed Culture, The Death of Us. They're a hardcore band from Southern California, formed in 2022, so fairly new band. They have been in other bands, but they just kind of formed this one recently. Got Dave Rod on vocals, Martin Diaz on guitar, David Defoe on bass, and Michael Nielsen on drums. So, like I said, this is the band's debut EP. 5 songs, 13 minutes, 22 seconds. So you can listen
Really
to it.
fast. Yeah.
So you can listen to this and the other album on a trip to work, probably.
Yeah.
Uh, this one kind of it's like very very fast paced, as you can tell from the time limit on it. It reminded me a lot of Municipal Waste. Uh,
Nice.
so I mean, not bad company for sure.
No.
Vocally, it was really in your face, screaming the whole time. Really fast paced. Guitars were good and thrashy, and the drumming tied it kind of all together. Nothing really special about the drumming, but it just kept the pace with everything else that was going on, which was really really cool. So it kind of kills me sometimes when you hear those fast paced songs and then the drumming's kind of sounds like it's like a note behind or something because they're
God,
going so
I
fast.
hate that. I hate that.
No, but this one seemed like it was really well put together. So hopefully they got a good future going here with this band. So like I said, I really like this one. So I'm gonna give this one 4 horns.
Nice. Very nice. All right. So, like Jason said, I actually got to listen to a few today. I actually listened to 4 LPs today, which was really nice. It's been a minute since I've been able to get that much new music into one Friday. I did do just one formal review though. My formal review was the new album. Yeah. Yeah. Which is the new album, and I say that with a question mark, by Iron Flame, called The Compendium. I say that because Encyclopedia Metallum has it listed as a compilation, but I went back and looked at the. Well, I'll back up a little bit. This is a heavy / power metal project formed in Martins Ferry, Ohio, in 2016 by Andrew DeCania. He is actually credited with everything.
Yeah.
The live lineup consists of James Babcock on bass, Quinn Lucas on guitar, Jesse Scott on guitar, and Noah Skiba on drums. So I guess this is one of those one-man bands as far as the production of the studio album goes. Like I say, Encyclopedia Metallum has this list as a compilation, but when I saw that, I went back and looked at the 4 full-length albums that are out. 17, 18, 20, and 22 are the years that those came out. I didn't see any of the tracks listed on any of the other studio albums, with the exception of the 10th track, Marching On, which is an acoustic version of a song that was on Lightning Strikes the Crown, which is the debut album, which came out in 2017. There is a regular studio version on that album. None of the other 9. What's that?
It's still a different version though. So I mean,
yeah, it's a different version. So, but the regular version is on the first album. The other 9 songs are nowhere to be found on any of the other 4 albums. So I'm kind of confused as to why it's listed as a compilation. Either way, all of this music was new to me. I've never listened to Iron Flame before, so all of this music was new to me, whether it was a compilation or not. So the album itself is 10 tracks long, 49 minutes and 22 seconds. So, not too long, not too short. The cool thing about this is it's right up my alley. It's a heavy metal album. It's a power metal album. Has a little bit of a medieval tone to it. Up tempo, fast paced, guitar centric album, which is nice. The very first song, Vision in Flames, kind of had that same thing happen like you were just talking about on one of your albums, talking about like the drums didn't seem to be in sync with the rest of the music. So that kind of stuck out to me on the first track, but thankfully that was the only track that it happened on, and thank goodness, because I was a little concerned at first. Andrew DeCania, he's kind of got a little bit of Bruce Dickinson in him on the low end. He doesn't hit any of the highs like Bruce does, but on the low end, he's got a little bit of early Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden vibe to his vocal style. The music was all all of the musical compositions were very well done, save for like the timing issues on that first track, Vision in Flames. Everything else was fine. It all worked itself out. So yeah, no complaints. Minus the one song. So definitely going to give this one 4 horns out of 5. Then the second album I listened to today was Phase 4 from our friends in Spillage. We had them on the show last year, and they were at the initial Tennessee Metal Devastation Fest. So their new album Phase 4 came out.
Actually, Elvin was the first guest we had this year.
Was it? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was early this year or late last year. So yeah, Eldon was on the show. Okay, he was first this year. Okay, all right, so that's cool. But yeah, same kind of overall vibe. They're a doom. They're kind of a doom metal band, but I think they showed some real growth in this one. A little more guitar focused. I think they found a better balance of where they put the keyboards in. So I think they did a better job of the keyboard placement in this one. I'm going to give this one 4 horns out of 5. Then I listened to Evilon, a band that I haven't heard of before. Their album A Warrior's Way. This is their second full-length album. Encyclopedia Metallum doesn't even have the new album listed. They're a melodic folk / death metal band from Sweden. Sounded a lot like earlier Amon Amarth to me. So I kind of dug that one too. 3.5 horns out of 5 for that one. And then the fourth one that I listened to today, this was via Extinction, our friends at Extinction AD, their recommendation. I listened to A Sign of Things to Come, the new album from Silosis, and Jesus, huh?
I still want to check that one out. So.
Dude, you need to. It's phenomenal. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I will admit to not listening to a lot of Silosis, over the years, bits and pieces here and there. So I don't have exactly like the history with Silosis I probably should have, if I'm being completely honest. But the new album's phenomenal. I mean, the guitar playing is absolutely stellar. So I'm giving that one 4 horns out of 5 without even batting an eyelash. So yeah, 3 4s and a 3.5 this week. So I mean, that's for me anyway. So not too shabby at all. Which will lead us into this coming Friday, September 15th. Pretty extensive list coming up. Leading off, we have Alkaloid with Newman. Hello, Newman. Antumbra with Oblivion. Aortha with Monolith. Apotheus with Ergo Atlas. Async Await with Irretrospective Part 1. That's an EP. Baroness with Stone. Black and Halo with Extinction Inbound. That's an EP. Blind Equation with Death Awaits. Blood Oath with Lost and an Eternal Silence. Bolt Gun with The Tower. Bring Me the Horizon with Posthuman. Next Gen. Brujeria with Esto es Brujeria. And that means this is Brujeria, if my Spanish is at least good enough to be able to translate that. Burner with Hitting the Target. Carathis with The Haunting of Sablewood. That's an EP. Chorosia with Stray Dogs. The Chronicles of Father Robin with The Songs and Tales of Eroea, Book 1. The Coffin Shakers with Graves, Release Your Dead. Contortion with The Children of the Snake. Corey Taylor with CMF2, which I'll get around to that one eventually, I'm sure. CMF, the first one was, it's fine. Damnation's Hammer with Into the Silent Nebula. Danko Jones with Electric Sounds. Deadly Carnage with Endless Blue. Disgorge with Parallels of Infinite Torture. That's a re-release. Earth Altar and Sun Below with Inter Terra Solis. That's a split album. Eerie with The Delirium of the Believers. Electric Boys with Grand Explosivos. Escape the Hive with This Is Gonna Sting. That's kind of a fitting title. Eunomia with The Chronicles of Eunomia, Part 2. Fabricant with Drudge to Thicket. Fache with a self-titled album. Fever Dog with Alpha Waves. Flesher with Tales of Grotesque Demise. Fulano with Ruido Infernal. George Sanders and the Parallels with Hope Hotel, that's an EP. Great Falls with Objects Without Pain. Grind Link with Coronet Juniper. Holocide with Bazoo Killer, it's an EP. Heronian with Beyond Frozen Heights, that's an EP. Hero the Hero with Bound for Glory. Ignition with Vengeance. Integrity with a couple of re-releases, Closure and Seasons in the Size of Days. Lark with Antarctica. Lords of the Drift with Throat. Magnitude with Days Renewed. Mayhem with Daemonic Rites. Midnight with Through Oceans of Space. Mike Maines and the Branches with Memory Unfixed. Molly Baron with Something Ominous. Mondo Drag with Through the Hourglass. My Dearest Wound with The Burial. New Model Army with Sinfonia. Night Verses with Every Sound Has a Color in the Valley of Night Part 1. I need to shorten that down just a little bit. Jesus Christ. Old Ruins with Always Heading East. 4 re-releases from Ostrogoth. Ecstasy and Danger. Feelings of Fury. Full Moon's Eyes and Too Hot. OTEP with The Godslayer. I'm interested by that one. I don't know. Patriarch with Demonic Heart. Perverticon with Extinguishing the Flame of Life. That's a re-release. Cynosis with Mercury. Quasar Born with Novo Oruche Protiv Bola. I don't know what language that is. Resolve with Humid. Not Humid, sorry. Rich Kid Express with Under the Purple Lights. That's an EP. Ronnie Romero with Too Many Lies, Too Many Masters. Roots of the Old Oak with The Devil and His Wicked Ways. Serration with Simulations of Hell. 4 re-releases by Seventh Wonder. Become, Mercy Falls, The Great Escape, and Waiting in the Wings. Shade Empire with Sun Holy. She Burns Red with Out of Darkness. Shining with a self-titled album. Slamaskin with Troll Vegan. Slave Steel with In Fieri. Smokeheads with All In. Son of Deny with Sporty, that's an EP. Static Dress with Rouge Carpet Disaster, that's a re-release. Swami Late Plate with Doom Jazz 2. Tarpon with Petrol. Taz with Wake Up and Sweat Volume 1. Tesseract with War of Being. Thierry Arnal with The Occult Sources. Thorn with Evergloom. Through Mists with Stalker / Homicidal Masters. Tideless with Eye of Water. Thy Art is Murder with Godlike. Torpor with Abscission. To the Grave with Offcuts, that's an EP. Violent Life, Violent Death with Break, Burn, End. And last but not least, Viator's Tenebrarium with ENLD.
Nice. Pretty good.
So there you go. Yeah, pretty lengthy list. Quite a few re-releases, but still pretty no shortage of stuff to choose from, that's for sure.
Some pretty good stuff on there. Some
Yeah.
notable bands on there too.
Yeah, a few.
All right. So I'm going to end this with some of the same bullshit I started with, so I apologize. But
Okay.
But this is to be noted, or I wouldn't even talk about this again. But if you were here earlier in the show, we were talking about the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Well, I just got an update from someone that was there. He just posted something 2 hours ago. Well, little did they know that they kept him out of the show. When I was telling you they were turning people away at 4 p.m. and not telling them they couldn't come in there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually works for one of the investors companies.
Oh no.
that put money up for the show. So he wrote him a note and said, "Hey, this is the attached invoice and crew due to my Blue Ridge Rock Festival that I can't get into, and I traveled from Texas to Virginia and then you let me not in with the bands. Being weather is one thing, but that was not the case today. There was no weather, so let's see." Normally, refunds for the tickets would be the only compensation allowed due to weather. However, the issue in this instance was not weather. It was fraud. Because of this, I'm requesting a refund for the tickets, airfare, car rental, and hotel. Should your company not pay within 10 days of receiving this invoice, I will be filing a lawsuit from Kendall County, Texas, including bills for our food, gas, wasted wages, and from taking off work to come here, and the pain of suffering for my 4'10", 90-pound disabled, legally blind girlfriend due to the poor planning and incompetence of staffing, leaving her without shelter in the rain and hail, forcing her to stand in the line for nearly 5 hours, freezing cold, chilled to the bone, while she waited in front of the Blue Light shuttle bus line and was refused entry onto the bus, preventing her from being picked up by me at the Blue Light because you gave rides only to people going to Orange Light for 5 hours before allowing anyone from the Blue Light to move. Oh my God. So anyway, long story short, that's kind of
Unreal.
yes. I mean, he posted his like affiliation with uh, the group that funds the that helps fund the festival and everything. Oh my god, dude, they probably really stepped in it there because
Yeah, heads are gonna roll.
well, like I said, you never know who's going to these things. You don't know who these people work for. And you got to treat everybody the same. To let some people in and then turn people away, I mean, that's you're just like I said, you turned away the wrong person. I mean, so um,
A little
man,
bit.
yeah, it's pretty wild. So
Someone's gonna have some definite explaining to do.
yeah, so somebody did the math for them. It's like if you sold 80,000 tickets to a venue, you can only they can only handle 50,000. Do basic math and say tickets cost $100 a day. 80,000 times 100 is $8 million. Now let's just say you had to do a partial half refunds to those 30,000 extra ticket holders you sold, just because after all you did provide them with a show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8 million gets subtracted by 1.5 million, and you're left with 6.5 million. Had you stuck with your morals and sold the venue to its original capacity, you'd only have 5 million. So by my example, by simply selling extra tickets and offering partial refunds, you still pocket an extra 1.5 million. That's assuming you sold the same ticket level all through, which we obviously know that's not the case. So that's oh man, crazy. Yeah, and like the campsites had to pay. You have to pay extra for those. I mean, those are usually up in the ranges about $1,200 for the weekend. So,
Golly, man.
yeah, so, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, there's so many people on this site. This is my first and last. I've never said no band's worth the terror that we experienced. I'm like, Jesus.
So that's the funny thing is, I mean, they like we said, they do have very, very good lineups, but all of the headaches and the money and everything else, you're better off waiting until some of these bands kind of like piecemeal it out, and you catch them on tour as they come by. You're better off just doing that at this point.
Uh, oh, they even were turning away VIP holders. Oh my god. Yeah, that's man. Because I mean, that's extra. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody's showing where they got injured,
Oh God.
trying to get to safety during the storm.
See, that's another thing. I mean, people are getting hurt trying to find a safe place to hunker down from the
That's what I'm
storm,
saying.
man.
You waited 5 minutes before it was on top of them to tell everybody to leave. That's not cool, man. You should have at least. I mean, if you knew it was coming, like you should have somebody watching the weather anyway. Like I would blame it on the people, but I've seen so many people posted, yeah, there wasn't even rain in the forecast when we looked. So it was just something that popped
That's
up.
still it's still summertime. Someone has to have an eye on the sky.
Right, exactly. And I mean, somebody at the venue obviously did because they posted something up 5 minutes before it got there. But obviously, you weren't being far enough ahead of it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you should have been 30 minutes ahead of it, saying, okay, yeah, we're just going to cancel Coheed and Cambria, and we're going to call it a night uh, until this storm passes. And if we bring everybody back in at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever, then we'll put the show on for whoever's on that time slot. The bad thing is you've already paid those bands, so you have to pay them. So they're there, so you're going to have to pay them whether they perform or not. So
Yep.
they're not liable for the weather. I mean, you canceled it, not them. So you got to pay them. So,
Yes, you do.
yeah. So some of the bands got paid for a night off. Yeah.
Good work if you can get it.
And then like somebody else we're talking about
Say it again.
one of the staff members told one of the people waiting that we don't care about how long you had to wait. It's not our problem.
Wow.
That's fan driven. Oh my god. Oh man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Listen, last year. So there, somebody's posting a list of other festivals for these people because people are having a bad. Like some of these people are like, "This is our first festival." Well, first off, your first festival should never be this one. I'm just going to tell you because you have nothing to compare it to. You know what I mean? So if you go here and it's a shit show, then you're thinking all of them are shit show, and it's not true. There's a lot of
Right.
them out there that are pretty well made. Just like somebody put on here, they're from Oklahoma, and Rocklahoma is a smaller. Said yes, it's a smaller venue, and they don't sell as many tickets, but it's always went on without a hitch. It's been pretty. He said it's always been pretty smooth. So you know.
Well, maybe that's because Rocklahoma isn't trying to bite off more than it can chew.
I think that's the thing. I think even because like Non-Point was because I follow those guys and I talk to those guys. I got pretty decent relationship with those guys.
Yeah.
But they were posting where they were there Wednesday night, and I said, "Wait, did they start doing Wednesday nights now?" He says, "No, we were just here for the pre party. Like they had like a pre party, and they had
Yeah.
and all those guys there Wednesday night, which is wild. I'm just like, wow, you can't even put them on the regular bill. Like, what the fuck, dude? They've been on the regular bill ever since the both 2 years I went there. They were both on the main one of the main stages. So,
Right.
so then now they're just good enough to pre-party, I guess. uh, I still like to do a cruise just to see how different that is.
Yeah.
Like Shiprock or the 70,000 tons.
I would like to do that 70,000 tons of metal.
Monsters of Rock cruise. They have that too. So,
Yeah.
even the Jericho cruise would be cool to me because you got different forms of entertainment. You got comedy acts and
You got wrestling. Yeah.
wrestling and rock music.
That would be cool.
Just have something different. Wow, somebody posted 54 minutes ago. This is the first time I've came to Blue Ridge and I still haven't even seen a band yet.
Oh my Lord.
What the fuck? Barely got there yesterday. Then the evacuation happened. Then the day it was canceled because of rain. 2 hours in line waiting for a shuttle just to be told to go home. Oh my god. Yeah, this ain't looking good, man. Not at all. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to kind of give an update about what I kind of got into this to see what people were kind of talking about, today because I didn't see anything from past 4 o'clock, so I didn't know if they actually did anything else after that or not. So, yeah. I'll keep an eye on it over the weekend too and see if maybe it gets better. I don't know. At this point, I don't see it getting any better. Well, I mean, I don't see it. I shouldn't say anything. That's because I don't see it getting any worse. But I probably shouldn't say that.
Well, yeah,
but yeah. So that's all I want to kind of talk about that. So I think I've bored you guys enough with all that crap. So.
Well, like I say, they've got a lot of they definitely got a lot of making up to do.
If you've been a festival for 8 years, it's not growing pains anymore, man. You should have it together.
You should.
And the fact is, like the same guy's like involved in it, but he's not running it. I guess if that makes any sense, but he's still got involvement in it. So as long as he's got involvement in it, I think there's going to be some shady shit going on. So, it's almost like not trying to knock people, but it's almost like the Indian people that come here and get hotels. Do know that they sell those off every 3 or 4 years to a family member, and then buy it back 4 years later because of tax purposes? Like,
yeah, I don't want to get into that shit because it just pisses me off. But yeah,
well, I know, but that's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of it's almost like a Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah, it is.
To get people because he's actually sold it to another person or gave the job to another person, and they supposedly bought it and they're running it this year or last year. Last year they started, so this year will be their second year running it, and it's obviously still hasn't got any better. And that's because that one guy's still involved. It's like I think he's still in charge of logistics and shit. So I mean that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like this fucking guy out of here, man. Like he don't know what the fuck he's doing. You're all about you're not you call it a fan driven experience, but I don't see where you're putting the fans first. It's like,
Yeah, I
anyway.
don't know.
All right, well, we will wrap this bad boy up. I said we was going to go on 2 hours, and I was right. So, actually, it didn't go as long as I thought it would. I figured
No, actually, it didn't. It really didn't.
hours, but so, anyway, you guys, glad you stopped by. Like I said, you can always catch the ticker down there. You can always catch the radio station live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and also
Yep.
merch. That will be updated in the coming weeks to winter apparel. So be on the
Right.
be on the lookout for that as well.
Yep.
I want to thank Dana for stopping in again with us, and thank
Yep.
Hex for dropping in long enough to like us anyway. So
Yeah, and also for my Aunt Amy stopping by. We appreciate her. Then, yep. Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com. Drop us a line, drop us a request for the radio station. Follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Rumble, on Twitch, on YouTube. Come over and get a membership request put in for the Facebook group. We are not hard to find. Like I say, all of our playlists are on Spotify. We got the radio station. We've got almost all the heavy metal you could possibly want.
everything. When I do the playlist, I usually try to put a little bit of everything on there, even if I don't. If I'm not into it, because somebody else may be. So
Exactly.
there's a skip button there for a reason. You don't like it? Then skip it. I mean,
Yeah, skip to the next one. That's fine. That's fine.
Different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are not going to exclude any subgenre of heavy metal. We are not. We will not.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for stopping in and checking us out this week. Hopefully, we will see you back here next week. As of right now, it should still be a regular show. Still haven't got. I had somebody on the line, but I'm not sure what's going to come of it yet. So we'll see.
Feelers are always out there.
That's right. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week. See you back here next week. Till then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.